Hey guys, tonight we're diving into the world of the infamous swordsman, Miyamoto Musashi. Picture this, cozy lights dimmed, with the distant rhythm of a gentle fan humming like a lullaby, a dog softly snoring beside you. Fair warning, Musashi's adventures are a bit like starting a movie at midnight. You probably won't survive this without a yawn or two. Before you get too comfy, feel free to tap like or subscribe, but only if you're genuinely enjoying the calm around here. Tell me where you're listening from and what time it is over there. I love seeing how far this sleepy little journey reaches. Now, go ahead and lower the lights. Maybe let a fan hum in the background, and let's drift gently into tonight's story together. You wake up one chilly morning, and it's not just any morning, it's the day of your first duel. The kind of morning where the dew clings to every blade of grass, and your hair sticks out in odd directions, like it's had one too many dreams. As a young, ambitious swordsman in training, this duel's not just a challenging adversary, but an absolute breakfast of champions situation. Honestly, the scenario makes you feel as if you're about to hit send on an email you've written 6 times. That uneasy wiggle takes hold in your gut. The air is filled with the sound of distant rustling leaves, and somewhere you're just convinced an overly enthusiastic rooster is practicing to join a band. You don your trusty kimono, making sure it doesn't decide to tie you in a knot for the sheer comedic value of it. The day has arrived for you to face Arima Kihei, a swordsman who honestly might have once compared his biceps to Mount Fuji, and probably lost. As you walk through the village, the path crunches beneath your straw sandals. Villagers give you curious looks, akin to passing strangers trying to sneak a peek into your phone while you're glued to a particularly intriguing cat video. And there's a certain quiet, the kind that makes your thoughts as loud as those hollow cookies pretending to be pastrami when you bite into them, hoping for a delightful surprise. Arima, your opponent, stands at the center of a small clearing. He's doing the classic pose, arms crossed, a frown deep enough to hide secrets, or at least yesterday's to-do list. Historians say Arima might have been a rather formidable foe, but honestly, it's a bit like deciding between a serious yoga practice or blissfully sleeping in for an extra hour on a lazy Saturday. Historians still argue whether Arima's skills were legendary or just cleverly marketed. Kind of like that viral tweet that says, "Sourdough is the workout." Is it really a workout? A workout to eat, maybe. And then it begins. The duel isn't just about swords. You both circle one another slow, like two old grannies deciding who gets the last cookie from the jar. You raise your wooden practice sword, feeling almost deceptively secure, like when you send a tweet without triple checking for spelling errors. There's sweat trickling down, as if your forehead suddenly decided humid pretzel was the new look. The clearing dances with wind, and a nearby bird swoops close enough to study the drama, perhaps for its memoir. With a few swift movements reminiscent of navigating Black Friday shopping aisles, you step with intuition, letting your instincts, mostly caffeine-based, take over. The clash is loud, a shout out to anyone who's ever dropped their phone face down in ultimate slow motion. There's skill here, and a bit of luck, not unlike the time you managed to exit a Zoom call before anyone noticed you're wearing pajama bottoms. Your swordplay confounds Arima, whose eyes widen. A moment frozen, and you know it's the perfect cinematic shot that no one managed to Instagram. Within moments, Your wooden sword grazes Arima's wrist. That's it. Game over. Period. Finito. Arima admits defeat to you with the dignity of someone who's maybe been caught snoring in math class. His words echo through the clearing, an acceptance of talismanic prowess, or perhaps just admiration for your guts. As you wander back through the village, the soreness in your arm speaks volumes as if the muscles are groaning. Why didn't you start with yoga, though? Yet, you carry a sense of satisfaction, the kind of relief of being unmuted on a video call just as you were weathering a sneeze. People might think a single duel is just that. One moment. But those moments echo like a well-struck bell, a beginning of the journey, and a grand old query. What's next in the Chronicles of Musashi? The man who navigated life a bit like you do emails, one unread message at a time. After a day like that, you'd think life would give you a break, let you languish in the cozy embrace of victory, right? But no, that's not how the world works for someone like you, a budding swordsman with ambitions loftier than your afternoon daydreams. So begins your wanderings, the life of what people might dub a wandering warrior, which in modern terms is a bit like updating your LinkedIn profile to seeking new opportunities, perseverance, and swordplay available. You journey across Japan, not with the haste of a flurry of texts, but with the measured, methodical footfall of one who has no fixed destination. You might step one foot onto a bridge, contemplating the picturesque river below, contemplating whether its reflections hold deeper meanings or just uncanny fish. This is the very essence of being a ronin, a samurai without a master, drifting from one place to another. It's like finding yourself at a perpetual crossroads. Do you post that scenic photo now, or save it for Throwback Thursday? Much like opening a fortune cookie, hoping for divine wisdom, and receiving a questionable lottery number alongside sage advice about talking less, you realize your path is unpredictable. The quiet village you enter one evening seems to nestle softly in the lap of surrounding hills. It's the type of place where you expect a corner shop selling obscure vinyl records along with its rice supplies. Here, you encounter that single eccentric villager who insists their goat is secretly descended from dragons. And honestly, you're almost willing to believe them after a day of walking that felt like a month of Mondays combined. As you settle into the village, a local elder invites you for tea, which you accept gratefully, mostly because tea and a bit of rest are the nearest things to luxury you have these days. Over the gentle clinking of teacups, an elder spins tales of an ancient scroll hidden somewhere within their sleepy settlement. This scroll, they claim, in a voice cloaked with mystery and loose leaves, contains sword techniques so profound they could unravel the universe, or at least efficiently roll up a decent sleeping mat. Intrigued, you find yourself pulled like a student onto the precipice of an all-nighter before a test. Thus begins a quest to uncover what is either the motherlode of all secrets or the village's most well-loved rabbit hole, worthy of futility. Historians still argue whether such a scroll ever existed or if it was a legend born out of boredom, or that one villager's penchant for storytelling, rivaling Netflix marathons. But for you, it's about the chase, discovering something new in this journey of yours. As you search, nights spent under the stars offer lessons in their own right. You realize life's sojourns are akin to the lyricism of nature. The rustling of leaves finds rhythm in the heartbeat, much like that catchy ringtone forever etched in your mind. Each clue you follow is reminiscent of those nights spent browsing through endless Wikipedia links, realizing, with a start, you've wandered from the history of Japan to the brief history of ducks. One chilly dusk, after tripping over nothing but your shoelaces and a spirited rock, you finally unearth what you've been searching for. A tattered scroll buried beneath a particularly indignant clump of stubborn weeds. And while it may lack the spectacular sheen of ancient treasures, beneath its surface, you sense a whisper of wisdom resonating through the dried ink. Before you can fully absorb its contents, the village's dragon-descendant goat bleats loudly, as if reminding you that life is never as quiet as it seems. The scroll returns with you to the village, cradled gently under your arm, somewhat like a fragile loaf of sourdough bread surviving the last sourdough craze. By nightfall, you're back with the elder, pondering the contents of this peculiar scroll over more tea and biscuits. You discuss potential new techniques, maybe fancy footwork, or managing an impromptu sword dance that rivals your best shower singing performance. As you drift into a drowsy contemplation of the scroll's legacy and lessons, a sensation of profound contentment wraps around you as snugly as a cat twining around your ankles. History's pages, real, embellished, or rumored, have given you companionship on your path, and for now, you're content to pause, letting silence fill the cracks left by unspoken questions and mysteries waiting just beyond the horizon. The life of a Ronin, a masterless wanderer, is one of shifting sands and endless possibilities. You learn to navigate through towns like emails you plan to read later until they stack up and resemble a literary anthology. Equally daunting and strangely fascinating, with the scroll's secrets tucked away, comfortably, yet still oddly intangible, like that forgotten pack of gum in your pocket. You set out for new horizons. The road unwinds before you, dappled in sunlight that sneaks between branches like playful whispers. Your sandals beat a quiet rhythm on the path, a mantra for your journey, a soothing lullaby echoing in tandem with your heartbeat. Eventually, you stumble into another village, this time one that embraces you with the scent of fresh rain and something that suspiciously smells like tofu, though your hopes aren't high given past encounters. The villagers eye you with a benign curiosity, the kind strangers give when they notice embroidery on your socks and realize it tells stories too. That evening, between sips of sake that warms your insides like a secret sunrise, you absorb tales of area legends. There's talk of a martial arts school nearby, an institution of respect and fear under a strict master. The stories paint a picture of mystery, like a captivating blurb that hooks you into an otherwise boring book. You're intrigued and decide it's the perfect blend of challenge and novelty to spice up your journey. Plus, if nothing else, you truly can't resist an opportunity for another training montage. Maybe this time set to some catchy, inspiration-inducing music. As you wander towards the temple in question, the road feels endless, much like a documentary marathon on subjects you knew perhaps too little, yet want to know more about. The temple stands as an impressive silhouette against the twilight, a place of serenity and discipline wrapped in delicate layers of history and the occasional batting of bird wings. The master, known for his discipline, as infamous as Yoda's grammar and attitude, earns the kind of respect, mixed with mock fear, that translates neatly to a well-thumbed meme collection. As you approach for your first lesson, there's an overwhelming aura of déjà vu. sort of like realizing you've stocked your fridge profusely, yet somehow still have nothing for dinner. Training at the temple is no casual affair. The master's expectations are higher than a particularly ambitious Google search on how to get your life together in 10 easy steps. Tasks are rigorous. Wooden swords become extensions of your limbs, and even your shadow seems to reluctantly join in the exercises. You participate in meditative boot camps, attempts to clear the clutter of thoughts that buzz around your head, like a fly too smug for its own good. The master's teachings delve deep, with as much tune-up and clarity as deep cleaning your room after months of organized chaos. There's something about the meditation and scrutiny that feels familiar, like reading old messages in a thread with yourself, an echo of motivations sought and found. This temple holds more secrets than the scroll, and more practices than the latest yoga fad, keeping you engaged, sometimes exasperated, often enchanted. As time passes, you find patterns within yourself, much like doodles in your margins, slowly evolving them into deliberate lines filled with purpose and wisdom. You hope. Historians still argue whether these moments of transformation were planned or serendipitous. Truth be told, perspective is both the keystone and bane to understanding, much like discerning whether that evening yawn stemmed from sleepiness or existential enlightenment. Amidst this intricate dance of learning, unlearning, and relearning, you find yourself pondering the very nature of mastery and solitude. With each stance, you blend knowledge into your essence, embracing the strange dance of life where missteps can be just as enlightening as perfected moves. Each evening, with weary muscles and clearer thoughts, you look upon the night sky, a canvas filled with dots of hopeful starlight and cosmic mysteries waiting to be unveiled. And with a gentle sigh that carries a day's worth of dreams and determination, you settle into the lull, eyes closed, letting the rhythm of life sway you gently into slumber. As the days at the temple turn into weeks, your life becomes stitched with routines that feel like well-worn slippers, familiar and oddly comforting. Every dawn, you awaken to the muted hues of the sky, painted in shades only a sleepy sun could brush with half-closed eyes. It's almost enough to make you appreciate sunrise alarms almost. The temple surrounds you with a symphony of muffled footsteps, the whispering breeze through bamboo, and the occasional exasperated sigh when a cherished teapot is accidentally tipped over. There is something about temples that incites reflection, the kind that has you staring into cups of tea as though expecting them to crack the mysteries of life itself. But tea often remains silent, more of a tranquil companion than an oracle. Besides, the temple is full of engaging oddballs to keep your thoughts grounded and occasionally afloat. One morning, perhaps during a session so early, even the roosters haven't thought to challenge you to a groggy duel. The talk of dawn duels arises. You and some fellow trainees find yourselves intrigued, pondering the idea much like speculating if your microwave's popcorn button ever truly nails it. Duel at dawn. Sounds glamorously historic, doesn't it? Like putting on a cape and twirling into a soundtrack nothing short of epic. And soon enough, you're staring at an opponent across a circle carved quietly in dew-kissed earth. The sun just beginning to cast its drowsy eyes over the horizon. As swords clash, it's hard not to find a dash of silliness amidst the grandeur. Picture two warriors trying not to trip over their enthusiasm amidst the pastel parade of dawn. You move confidently, concentrating on the present, ensuring your eyebrows remain unclenched and your grip steady. Yet, There's a moment, one unbelievably ridiculous, where you're both sidetracked by an audacious duck skidding overhead. Its quack punctuates the air with all the dare of a wayward comedian, causing both you and your rival to break concentration with bewildered glances skyward. An unexpected chuckle escapes your lips, breaking the serious facade ever so slightly, a hint of that infectious human authenticity poking through. Training is halted, not by victorious cries or dramatic defeats, but to a tableau of two duelists stifling giggles under the judge of a veering duck. It's remarkable how duck antics can forge respect among competitors, the kind of bond that's spontaneous, like sharing a meme would make them laugh. Afterward, as you head back, the world slowly wiping bleary eyes awake, a new resilience buds within you. You've gained more than technical prowess in this temple, like breadcrumbs leading you through software updates. You learn patience and insights, peppered with unexpected laughs and the comfort of companionship. Evenings find you reclining against your favorite spot, a wise old tree stretching its branches across the sky. A sky rimmed with stars, arranging themselves with the kind of haphazard elegance only the universe can muster. The night sounds are a melody. Sighing wind, the distant cry of an owl, and the rustle of tents settling in for slumber. Your mind, busy yet serene, reflects on the day as you let your thoughts dissolve into the gentle pull of sleep. As your eyes flutter lazily shut, you think of the endless streams of stories, the vibrant tapestries woven through every thread in this vast temple life. And in the soft comfort of nighttime, cradled by both the day's adventures and the promise of tomorrow's unknown possibilities, you drift peacefully, finally, into the embrace of dreams. Leaving the temple is bittersweet, much like finishing a binge-worthy series at 3 a.m. and realizing you've somehow become attached to the characters, even the ones that annoyed you. Your time spent there has been shaping, like the potter with clay. But now it's time to venture into the world again. A world waiting with open roads, new stories, and the occasional pothole cleverly disguised as a life challenge. Your path takes you through towns bustling like a busy intersection of people and possibilities. The air a mix of market goods, laughter, and spirited conversations ricocheting off the wooden walls. There's a homely charm to these places, like the comfort of a mismatched set of pajamas found at the back of your drawer that somehow fits just right on a breezy evening. In one village, you're drawn into an unexpected tangle. Nothing sinister, but more akin to a comedy of errors. You wander into a scene bubbling with commotion. Two clans engaged in what can only be described as a regal spat over a trifling matter. The best recipe for pickled plums. Yes, pickled plums. You wouldn't believe it unless you saw it yourself. Who knew peace could be drifting away at the mere flavor of tartness? Historians, bless their academic hearts, still argue whether such accounts of clan quarrels were genuine or exaggerated tales told long after the fact. Perhaps like your uncle's fish stories, but there you are, caught in the thick of it. The confusion palpable as an ill-intentioned prank involving mirthful mischief and a hint of slow realization creeping amongst the current of competitive spirits. With sheepish charm, you attempt to broker a ceasefire, or at least to encourage a pleasant conversation over tea. But things escalate humorously when one family's grandmother, bolder than any TikTok challenge, insists on a taste-off before sunset. Before you know it, you're unwittingly thrust into an esteemed role. the unbiased judge trying desperately to navigate a culinary diplomacy mission with sincerity that rivals a first date effort. Tables are set with fervor, and a throng of plump plums soon fills the air with their intoxicating fragrance. You sample each offering with a reverence usually reserved for sacred rituals, ensuring your evaluations are impartial and the humor. A welcome, albeit unplanned crackle through the proceedings. Ultimately, the solution's not found in a victor, but through its own twist, a delighted mix-up, resulting in the unwitting creation of an entirely new flavor. Everyone laughs, diffusing tensions with an ease only food and shared experiences can manage. Another chuckle bubbles within, realizing how much this is like sending a meme to diffuse a tense group chat. Sometimes, it's not about solving problems, but rather lightening their load. When evening cloaks the setting in soft sighs, and the winds of adventure call once more, you're off. With every step, you gather fragments of stories and encounters, carrying them tucked under metaphorical earmuffs for the colder nights when you recount these moments by the light of storytelling fireflies. Around you, the world begins to soften, the edges blurring as night deepens, wrapping your thoughts in gentle quilted comfort, the gentle embrace of slumber drawing near. As you find a cozy spot beneath the midnight sky, eyes hooded against the twinkling multitude, you recline against the ground. You let the tales of plums, laughter, and adventurous escapades cradle you into dreams filled with wanderlust steps flowing into the endless horizon. Traveling further afield, the world stretches endlessly before you, like an open field at dawn, waiting to be danced upon by the first rays of sunlight. The road meanders, a tapestry of landscapes woven together with strands of grass and grains of sand. Every step a new possibility, a new adventure hidden within a horizon that always seems to whisper a soft, inviting promise. It's much like browsing through endless streaming options, except here, every choice is a commitment, and the viewer is all too eager to get lost in the narrative. Your journey brings you to a new challenge, one as time-worn and dramatic as any trope worth its salt. It comes in the form of a mysterious figure, a swordsman known for his prowess and perhaps an equal affinity for dramatic entrances, not unlike someone getting the perfect clickbait moment for 1,000 views. He challenges you to a duel by sunlight, an aesthetically pleasing but tactically intense approach that demands precision and trust in one's shades. It's set amidst a field dotted with early morning dew, a canvas ready for artistry or chaos, depending on how you approach it. As you stand ready, the duel begins, sunlight streaming across the field, setting shadows into motion, a dance mirrored in every step and swing. The blades whistle through the air, not unlike the whoosh of a frisbee, only several shade tensors. Occasionally, the shimmer of light tests your focus, like when smartphone notifications pop in a vital battery-saving period, yet intrigue you anyway. All around, the world feels alive, vibrant, carrying a certain cadence like that Spotify playlist you just can't get enough of. The duel is rigorous, each movement choreographed between nature and intention, as if you're both actors in a play written by the universe's own untiring hand. All the while, the sunlight paints patterns across your faces, highlighting the earnest expressions barely hidden beneath stoic resolve. You're at the cusp of discovering something profound. Not just skill or technique, but a truth within the dance shared between two souls. It's like catching a glimpse of a season's first snowflake and knowing the beauty within its fragility. There's a moment of pause where the world holds its breath as you both reach a subtle understanding wrought from skill and respect. Victory is claimed, or shared if we're honest, much like compliments exchanged when you catch your reflection looking cute and decide the lighting was poignant enough to remember. With mutual respect, you part ways. A wordless agreement that what transpired was less a clash and more a conversation, inked through sword strikes and silent acknowledgments. Clutching this victory, or newfound understanding, close to heart, you wander into the gentle embrace of dusk. It's a quiet time, where every thought feels like a foreign lullaby. The song of crickets, the hush of wind among leaves, the occasional distant bark, all blend to craft a melody that serenades you softly into evening. And so, with the earth still warm beneath you, you find a quiet garden nook amidst an orchard ripe with fruit overhead, the scent fresh and promising. Here you settle, the ground beneath a friendly cushion, your thoughts gently unfurl in the hushed tranquility as the eternal symphony of nature plays on. As the sky dims, your eyelids follow suit, weighted by the tales of sunlight's duel, until finally you slip into a world of dreams as vibrant and infinite as the pathways under the moonlit vault. With the dawn of a new day, slowly unwrapping the night like a last present under the tree, you find yourself marching forward once more. The world, as always, offers whispers of new tales to uncover, whether through echoing canyons or meandering streams. The path feels familiar, yet thrilling, in the way that cozy, beloved socks accompany every step, soft, warm, and accompanying you to places new and old. There's a quiet stretch to your journey this time, one that invites reflection. A sleepless night finds you pausing, the gentle brush of time replaying moments and lessons like memories unfolding leisurely across a well-worn photo album. You ponder life's curiosities, those fleeting, quizzical snapshots in time that amount to much more than individual moments. Much like revisiting an especially resonant playlist, each song marking a trace on your soul, these reflections breathe life back into traveled roads and shared smiles. Settling by a serene pond as silent as the hush before breath, you draw in the ambiance, letting it entwine with your musings. The water, still and patient, seems to mirror those emblematic thoughts of accomplishments gained and quests yet a whisper away. Historians, in all their wisdom, still debate about the subjective value of such moments, whether those small, reflective intimacies could shift destinies or merely serve as meaningful markers along someone's narrative. But truth be told, it's these gentle interludes that often carry the weight of tomorrow's journey. While the stars watch over your musings with the soft-toed steps of curious friends, you recall faces met and lessons learned along the way. Each connection and sparring match, characters woven into your story like delicate threads that shimmer beneath an imagined spotlight. You recall the Zen masters who seem to have everything figured out until they open their mouths, the villagers with culinary rivalries, and even the flash of feathers and duckbill that interrupted an intense duel in both hilarity and refreshment. As the night deepens, the tapestry of contemplation reveals insights as intricate and satisfying as discovering a long sought-after clue in a mystery novel's final chapter. Thinking back, there were whispers of doubt that played against the backdrop of that journey. But standing here, you realize those tunes unified into a resounding symphony, one you helped compose with each footfall, each draw of the blade, each flicker of determination. The evening continues to lean into the tranquility, drawing space around your awareness, threads of whispers softening into the lullaby of the living landscape. It's in these quiet moments, those brief pockets where past, present, and future briefly merge, that clarity emerges, and you nod in understanding to an invisible muse ever present by your side, to comfort, to challenge, and to guide. With a final deep breath, exhales of contentment billow like the warm embrace of a woven throw falling over slumber-dimmed eyes. It's time to succumb to rest, weave dream and aspiration, and craft patterns anew beneath the shadowed embrace of slumber's soft quilt. Here, on the cusp between reflection and repose, your mind drifts into sleep, where stories become dreams, and the dance of light upon the water becomes a lullaby that welcomes another dawn, another chapter still unwritten and waiting. Calm in its promise and patient in its wisdom, the gentle awakening from this pensive night invites a new beginning. The dawn stretching its warm arms over the horizon, casting a golden embrace across the landscape as you gather your belongings and bid farewell to the tranquil pond. The morning air carries an invigorating clarity, the kind that makes the mundane feel slightly magical. Lanterns flicker out as daylight claims its turn, and the world unfurls with a sort of optimism akin to opening a message from an old friend, just when you needed it most. With each step forward, you find yourself moving towards what could be described as the culmination of this long, winding odyssey. It feels like the last season finale of a beloved, comfortably predictable sitcom, where strings must be tied, yet adventures, undeniably, continue to whisper on the edge of the horizon. The air holds a crispness, a tangible excitement, luring you with promises of undiscovered roads, new glistening fields where your sword might find further purpose, or perhaps an opportunity merely to reflect starlight back into its skyward home. The final segment of this journey leads you to a village set amidst lush greenery, vibrant, yet still in that way only small, comfortable places can be. The kind of town where everyone knows everyone else's business, yet it's covered in a blanket of endearing confidentiality. Historians might suggest names for such places. Perhaps the Quiet Retreats, or Whispers of Real-Life Rivendell, promising peace to even the most venturesome of souls needing rest. You're welcomed graciously, and the air is alive with the rich aroma of simmering pots and freshly baked bread. It stirs an implicit sense of belonging, one that seems universal and right, offering a nod that feels like a warm embrace on a chilly evening. The elders beckon you with the gentle curiosity of people accustomed to weaving tales from travelers' stories, hinting at histories they are eager to exchange over cups of tea and laughter that rolls thick and satisfying. You spend days immersed among these people, sharing stories both old and freshly woven into the intricate patchwork of your journey. In these shared narratives, where laughter mingles with the occasional melancholy sigh, bonds are forged. It's like those late-night calls with friends, where you divulge secrets under the stars, feeling momentarily infinite. Amidst this familial simplicity, a familiar face emerges from the shadows of memory. Your childhood friend, someone as constant and mysterious as a half-remembered melody. It's a surprising reunion, narratively fitting, yet surreal as only life's whimsical craft could masterfully conjure. Together, you traverse familiar yet changed pathways, reveling in nostalgia and confronting the future's open pages. Historians still debate the value of such reunions. Once forgotten, old friends blending into life's fresh chapters. But in your heart, you feel the grounding with each shared memory, marinating in nostalgia, privileging those simple, intimate connections over labyrinthine exploits. With each sunrise, stories unfurl and laughter harmonizes with the song of village life. This quiet corner of the world brushes across your soul with gentle strokes while you linger, the paths of home murmuring soft and promising. And each sunset envelops the land, gilding the edges of every memory painted in the rich, golden hues of living. As final farewells reflect in the light of the setting sun, there is joyous gratitude and a promise of future paths crossing anew. The humble roads, coupled with quiet reflection and sincere dialogue, feel like the optimal ending of a cherished journey. This time, the horizon remains a comforting fixture, promising whisper-kissed roads on which to wander into the great, unfolding narrative of life. As you stand at the village's edge, the gentle departure hums with the quietude of farewell, a subtle promise in the air, reminiscent of the last page of a book, satisfying yet deeply enticing for what may lie in the sequels. The world outside buzzes with possibilities as you step onto the familiar crunch of a dirt road, worn smooth by countless wanderers like yourself, each seeking that ever-elusive something, whether momentary peace or eternal wisdom. It's almost cheeky, the way adventure beckons from the road ahead, like an old friend nudging you at dawn to skip class and chase the waves instead. The scent of earth, mingled with the whisper of upcoming rain, refreshes the spirit like a cold glass of lemonade on a sweltering day. As you proceed, you feel both your own heartbeat and a sense of destiny thumping along with you. The landscape gently shifts, transitioning into a mist-laden path lined with towering cypress trees that stand as sentinels to both time and nature's quiet majesty. Every footstep induces a symphony of rustling leaves, a testament to the expansiveness of the world and its countless secrets, waiting patiently to be discovered among sun-dappled clearings and distant horizons. Night falls softly after another day's tread, and you find yourself pausing where the sky kisses the earth with its star-studded brilliance. It's a camping moment, one that comes with turning your gaze upwards, unencumbered heartbreak met with awe. Unlike staring at a blank screen, seeking inspiration for a project due tomorrow. The fire, in all its warm assertion, casts shadows flickering against the canvas of night. Here is where you find the solitude of memories brushing against the immediacy of life's rolling narrative. The crackling of logs mirrors the crackle of nostalgia in your soul, tugging at threads of laughter, moments of melancholy, and triumphs echoing through time's continuum. In these softly cocooned hours, as the lullaby of nature soothes your breathing into a gentle rhythm, rest calls to you like the ending of a beautiful song, slowly, sweetly, wrapping your heart in waves that whisper of home, unyielding and tender. The stars, eternal witnesses to dreams both spent and unspent, watch over you, guiding your dreams as your eyes slip closed and the warmth of slumber cradles you once more. Morning unfurls, a gentle opening to a tapestry of dawn glowing with promise, yet unread. You rise, refreshed from night's embrace, once more ready to meet the world's tender mercies. As you fold the earthbound highlights and tuck them within your heart, you saunter onward. Here is to new tales of wonder, companionship, and the breathtaking dance that greets the advent of every step. As you walk away, the world feels expansive, boundless, the horizon opening ever wider, allowing the road to tease more and more of its playful secrets, inviting you forward into a narrative that is as infinite as it is intimate. Your heart brims with gratitude for this journey, a quiet transition from one chapter to the next. The endless story of Musashi and your own, truly just beginning. The path extends before you in gentle, winding curves, each bend beckoning with the promise of new encounters, new stories, some imagined, some anchored in the immutable reality of the world around you. The morning dew clings to the grass as if reluctant to say goodbye, while the sun, a golden orb of warmth and promise, shakes off the last remnants of night, spilling light across the fields like a silent herald proclaiming possibilities unknown. With each step, you find yourself lost in a comfortable rhythm, reminiscent of the satisfying click of the last puzzle piece falling into place. The landscape transitions seamlessly, hills rolling into valleys, streams murmuring quietly alongside, occasionally bursting into gleeful laughter as they navigate the playful dance of stones in their path. As the day unfurls, you're drawn into a small hamlet perched near the edge of a serene lake, described by some well-traveled bard, perhaps, as a mirror to the heavens. The village, despite its peaceful facade, buzzes with an undercurrent of subtle energy, like a whispered secret waiting to be shared. There's an inviting charm to this place, akin to discovering a quiet corner of the internet, brimming with wholesome content that instantly puts you at ease. Historians might still debate the significance of such hamlets, whether such idyllic tranquility was natural or romanticized beyond truth. Yet as you meander through, listening to the harmonious interplay of laughter and the rhythmic percussion of daily life, it's hard not to be enchanted. The townsfolk welcome you with easygoing warmth, quick to share tales spun from both the fabric of history and the threads of imagination. Legends of ancient warriors, daring exploits, and the gentle hand of fate tracing patterns only visible in hindsight. It's in their stories that you perceive reflections of lessons learned and truths quietly nestled in your own experiences, mirroring, yet remaining as unique as a snowflake twirling down from above. As night descends, the village stirs with a sense of anticipation, a festival, they've declared, and you're cordially invited to the dusk gathering beneath an open sky, strung with lanterns that flicker like fireflies caught in a moment of pure joy. The air is infused with scents of sizzling dishes, homely and inviting, wrapping you in an embrace as comforting as familiar laughter on long, winding nights. You join them among the lithe shadows of trees and the warm glow of camaraderie. Dances weave human threads through the tapestry of night. Stories are sung with voices rising in harmonious orchestration against the backdrop where the stars twinkle conspiratorially, as if drawn into the narrative of human connection. For a moment, perhaps timeless or fleeting, it feels like every spontaneous chuckle, every whispered confidence shared under starry blankets converges into a singular, iridescent truth, that of existence painted beautifully against the canvas of space and time. An unending opportunity to write, rewrite, and live again with each breaking dawn. As the festival wends its way into the quieter hours, you find rest among the hushed lullaby of contentment and the soft susurration of trees against the backdrop of night. Eyes closed, heartbeat slowed, you let the gentle undertow sink its tender hold upon you, drawing you down into the warm cocoon of dreams, where paths twist and merge in familiar patterns worn by long-footed steps. In your dreams, the journey continues, the lines of road unfurling with a certainty no parchment could predict, inked with the light of day, and the soft sigh of history woven through it all. When dawn's earliest hues stretch across the horizon, you awake renewed in spirit and resolve, a voyager ever onward, a seeker at peace with the infinite mystery gently tugging at the hem of your journey. Awakening with the chorus of birds that greet the dawn, you find the world bathed in the gentle blush of morning, the sky patched with tender hues that only the break of day can conjure. The village, so lively last night, now slumbers under a veil of peaceful quietude, thinking of an eye gently closed in mid-thought, a promise to continue on upon waking. You gather your belongings, once again, ready to become part of the broader, endless tapestry of the road ahead. There is something serenely poetic about an early departure, an unspoken renewal as leaves sigh with dew, whispered farewells woven into your journey, much like a page-turning transition in a gripping novel. Historians might argue about the nature of wanderers like you, debating whether they are restless souls in search of peace or peace, givers to the restless paths they tread. Yet, as you lace up your sandals and step onto the path into the welcoming arms of the horizon, you find less interest in academic rumination and more in the physical and metaphysical act of moving forward. The path unfurls beneath your feet, soft and comforting, like the feel of your most beloved blanket pulled close on a chilly night, cradling warmth and potential adventure in every stride. The breeze brushes past, playfully whispering secrets of the world's tiniest, unnoticed tales, the ones that escape the grand annals of time, but resonate deeply within the hearts of everyone they touch. You find yourself reflecting again, thoughts meandering like the cheerful babble of streams, on the people whose paths touched yours, the masters who guided, challengers who tested your every nerve, villagers who extended their home and hearts, and kindred spirits met by the fireside, reflections gleaming on the rippling surface of your mind's lake. A new town beckons by midday, the promise of a bustling marketplace infused with scents of spices mingling in the warm sun, a chef's embrace, enticing you with stories told through the flavorful art of cookery. Here, the market unfolds as a tapestry alive, vendors peddling goods with practiced grace, the air thick with tints of colors and chatter that batters against you like sweetly remembered hugs. It's here you discover an unexpected delight, a stall dedicated to the crafting of wooden swords, intricate in design and splendorously balanced. The swordsmith, a weathered soul with hands like calloused maps of unspoken journeys, draws you into discussions of craft and life philosophies shared through the polished oak and tightened bindings of his creations. He shares tales of swords forged for battles, for art, for ceremony, a reminder that a blade's spirit is intertwined with that of its wielder, much like a pen to a poet. For a moment, the world melts away, stories weaved into the heart of each wood grain, and you find understanding and kinship across the blade's surface, much as you discover connection through the quiet warmth of a fireside yarn. As the afternoon sun slides towards its horizon, you find a spot anew beneath swaying branches, a leafy cathedral with skies carved from endless blue. Here, with a crafted practice sword in hand, you deepen your connection with the feel of its grain against your palm, akin to rediscovering an old playlist that sends a shiver of familiarity rippling through your core. As day drifts into night, you come full circle. The horizon calls, a melodic whisper in the symphony of stars overhead, and once more you yield to the tender lure of dreams, a reminder of tomorrow's stories yet to unfold, promises to discover through every bend and turn of the unending road you walk. As you journey onwards, the days begin to dance together, forming a lingering melody of moments and miles. There's an art to traveling without a fixed destination. It's the harmony of steps aligning with the earth's heartbeat, a rhythm you fall into like swaying to an old beloved song. With each sunrise, a fresh chapter beckons, unfolding with a whisper of anticipation carried on the morning breeze. One afternoon, as you're nestled in a cozy nook beneath the protective embrace of a sprawling cherry blossom tree, you find yourself engaged in contemplation once more. The world feels like a warm cup of tea cradled in your hands, wisps of steam curling like fleeting thoughts and decisions yet unmade. The blossoms above sway with the wind, delicate petals parachuting to the ground, carpeting your musings in pink and white dreams. Unexpectedly, you're drawn into a friendly spar with a fellow traveler, a swordsman who matches your enthusiasm for the gentle art of conflict, an unspoken agreement to practice and flourish without the sting of true harm. You face each other, wooden swords in hand, the anticipation of the dance unraveling as naturally as waves upon shore. The air between you hums with potential, vibrant as a struck chord reverberating through open air. The duel is playful, yet precise, each swing and parry revealing chapters of your respective journeys, the essence of one's travels, expressed not in words, but in the fluid poetry of movement. It's an artful exchange, a conversation conducted through the melody of tapping wood and the rustle of footfall upon earth. Historians might still debate the significance of these encounters, whether they amounted to changes in skill or simply served as mirrored reflections in a comrade's company. As you both conclude in a soft flourish, a twinkle of shared understanding passes between you, a promise of friendship, or perhaps merely that of shared paths, both equally cherished in the grand scheme of wandering. It's the subtle equilibrium of humanity embracing the beauty of transient connections as readily as enduring bonds. Your journey resumes, and with each passing hamlet and bustling town, the fabric of your narrative weaves richer, colored with laughter and sighs, joys and lessons, which townsfolk shaped with the attentiveness of artisans. You find both kindness and challenge in equal measure, each an opportunity to carry forward into the great expanse of your journey. On one particularly still evening, camped near a placid lake that mirrors the sky's intricate tapestry, you pause to immerse yourself in the reflections that have become a nightly habit, a ritual to unearth clarity amidst the complexity of life's cinematic tableau. The stars, diamond pinpoints sprinkled across the velvet dusk, provide silent company and limitless wonder. Within the quiet, you hear the soft lap of water against the shore, the gentle cadence lulling you into a serene wistfulness, an invitation to dream. It's amidst such nights of softness and solitude that your thoughts begin to unfurl, floating freely upon the canvas of imagination. As the night deepens, sleep tiptoes over you gently, its hushed footfalls edging your thoughts towards dreams painted with the memories and hopes of many journeys. You let go, surrendering to the embrace of night's warm promise, carried, as you always are, into the sanctuary of dreams and stars yet to be charted. With the promise of tomorrow cocooned alongside you, you prepare for another chapter, another day of wonderment and wonder, guarded gently by 1,000 silent, watchful stars. As the sun peaks over the horizon, casting a gentle golden hue across the landscape. You awaken with the familiar sensation of optimism and perhaps just a touch of wanderlust, the kind that nudges you gently from dreams and into the bright arms of a new day. The lake beside which you've slept seems to smile in the early light, its surface like polished glass reflecting the stretch of morning sky. Today feels different somehow, infused with an expectant hum, a reminder of both the road behind and the boundless possibilities ahead. You rise with the kind of energy that comes from a good night's sleep in the great outdoors, all the while knowing there's a comforting allure in the unpredictability of travel, where every step holds a surprise as bright as the glint of sunlight on water. Your journey unfolds patiently, each step wrapping the day in a rhythm as natural as the heartbeat that accompanies your every move. You traverse stretches of verdant fields, wind playing a gentle symphony in the sea of waving grass, each blade a participant in this melodic embrace of nature. A reminder that life, in its essence, is a dance both spontaneous and assured. Passing through yet another village, you're drawn to its market square, a kaleidoscope of color and sound, where voices rise in animated exchanges and laughter abounds. There, you experience the joy of simplicity anew, warmed by the sun and the palpable sense of community, a mosaic of lives intertwined through shared stories, much like pieces drawn together to form a beautiful montage. Among the throng, you catch sight of a display populated by curious objects, metalwork, ceramics, and fabrics that speak the language of art and craftsmanship. You find yourself captivated, like browsing channels late into the night, and stumbling upon a show that intrigues against all odds. Time slides by, gentle and unnoticed, as you lose yourself in this world of creation. While you linger, immersed in the artistry around you, an elder approaches, their face a roadmap of wisdom gained through years lived fully. They recognize something in your stance, or perhaps the twinkle in your eye, a hunger for stories and understanding. With a gentle nod toward a shaded spot beneath the eaves of a wooden awning, they invite you to sit, to listen. What follows is a tale as old as time, yet as fresh as the morning breeze. The elder shares their legacy of the land, the tales of their ancestors woven through the fabric of this place. It's a story steeped in myth and history, enshrining battles fought, loves lost and found, and the enduring cycle of seasons that cradle the ageless spirit of the village. Historians still question the veracity of such oral histories, sifting through legend for fragments of empirical truth. Yet somehow, amidst the cadence of the elder's voice, you're reminded that stories hold a truth of their own, one that transcends mere fact to touch upon the deeper essence of existence. As the day draws to a close and the village begins to sway gently with preparations for evening's rest, you take your leave, your heart fuller with the richness of new acquaintances and the shared thread of a story gifted across generations. The road beckons once more, the air cool against your face, carrying with it the scent of faraway places yet unexplored. You walk beneath the twilight sky, each footfall a whisper through the growing dusk, each breath a promise carried on the wind. When finally you pause again for the night, beneath the stars' endless sprawl, you find contentment in the simple truth of your journey, that every step, every story, every connection builds upon the last, crafting the narrative of a life well-traveled. As the shadows deepen and sleep calls softly, you let yourself drift, buoyed by the mystery of dreams. where roads continue ever onward and the adventure of life's great journey continues. As daylight stretches and swings into the pleasant warmth of yet another promising dawn, you find yourself reflecting on the accumulation of days, the slow and steady march that has brought you here. Each experience woven into the tapestry of your journey feels both like a familiar tune and a brand new refrain. There's a comforting rhythm to it all, each morning a fresh page, inviting you to explore and add another verse to the ongoing melody of your life. A gentle breeze ushers you onward, and as you walk, the landscape gradually changes in subtle hues and textures. Grass giving way to rockier paths, the tender whisper of leaves replaced by the commanding silence of towering stone faces. There is solace in these mountains, rugged and time-worn, their peaks sharp against the azure sky, a reminder of nature's enduring majesty, the eternal presence that accompanies your finite steps. The path narrows as you ascend, a trail that weaves between rocks with deft familiarity, like an old friend guiding you toward the heart of something sacred and ancient. The air is crisper here, the world more immediate, your senses attuned to the gentle rustling of wildlife, the distant trickle of a mountain stream, and the occasional breathtaking gust that sweeps across your contemplative path. It is on one of these majestic peaks, where the earth cradles the sky, that you pause and feel the gravity of the moment, the essence of where you are and who you've become on this journey. The vista stretches endlessly before you, valleys painted a lush, verdant green, distant clouds casting playful shadows that dance upon the earth, a tapestry woven by the sun itself. Perched upon this natural throne, you take in the grandeur, allowing it to fill the spaces within you, much like the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee on a languid morning. There is a perfection in this balance, in the stillness that speaks louder than any song, an understanding shared by the universe with every breath you take. As you descend, tracing the mountain's gentle spirals back to familiar forests and sun-drenched meadows, you encounter a small shrine nestled amongst the trees. It rests there quietly, a place of reflection and thanksgiving, known only to those who wander with eyes wide open. Historians may debate the significance of such sanctuaries, yet you recognize the simple truth they offer, a moment to celebrate the journey, both the milestones reached and the paths still to be walked. You leave a small token, perhaps a memory, a whispered wish, or a promise to yourself, and move forward, heart lighter, filled with the quiet joy that accompanies moments embraced fully. It's the same joy found in sharing a smile with a stranger, a connection laid bare and true, even when words are left unsaid. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the world in a deep indigo glow flecked with starlight, you finally halt for the night, laying your head upon the earth's wide embrace. The wind carries the faint rustling of leaves, a lullaby so gentle it wraps around you like the arms of a cherished companion, coaxing you toward rest with a warmth that melts the day's sorrows. Sleep finds you easily, nestled within that familiar dance of dreams, where imagination twirls through memories and spins new tales, unbounded by the logic of waking hours. Your dreams stretch out under an expansive sky, where the journey continues ever onward, led by the shimmering whispers of stars guiding you through the night, filled with promises of tomorrows lined with as many stories as your heart can hold, with another sunrise painting the sky in hues of gentle promise. You awaken to the soothing symphony of nature, a chorus led by birds whose songs thread through the morning air like delicate strands of a song newly formed. the world comes alive as you stir, a gradual crescendo of waking energy as you find your footing, ready and open to whatever lays beyond the day's first light. Today, the road carries you through lush, sweeping valleys, blanketed in wildflowers that sway lazily in the breeze. Each petal seems to tilt towards you as if sharing a secret only they heard whispered on the winds. There's a certain magic in these moments, akin to stumbling upon a forgotten corner of the internet, filled with unexpectedly wholesome content that refreshes your spirit. As midday approaches, the sun casts its warm glow across everything it touches, accentuating the vibrant palette of life unfolding around. You find yourself in good company, a small band of fellow travelers crossing paths, their faces flush with the same curiosity and eagerness for exploration. It's heartening, this temporary community formed from crossed paths and shared stories, weaving an ephemeral bond that defies the transience of your encounter. Together, you explore wayside attractions and local legends, relishing tales as rich and varied as the landscape itself. Laughter flows freely, a river of connection that transcends language, bridging even the longest of silences with understanding and kinship. Historians might ponder the impact of such transient gatherings, seeing them as historical footnotes, but those who've traveled know the profound marks such fleeting friendships leave upon our lives. As afternoon blooms toward evening, your group arrives at a quaint village where an impromptu festival is underfoot, its vibrant energy welcoming you with open arms and inviting you into its joyous communal embrace. Lanterns flicker to life as dusk descends, casting a warm glow across the gathering, a shared light that illuminates both the laughter and the gentle lines of age that mark the faces gathered there. Music and dance swirl through the air as you join in, twirling amidst strangers now made friends, the dance steps as much a part of the universal language as any spoken word. You find yourself smiling uncontrollably, carried away by the rhythm and the collective spirit, each beat like a paragraph in a story written by every footfall on the earth. As stars emerge, softly twinkling, you retreat to the edge of the village, where the sound of laughter is a distant melody upon the night breeze. Sitting beneath the vast field of sky, you breathe deeply, letting each inhalation carry away any remnants of weariness, each exhalation a whisper to the universe around you. You lay back against the earth, hands cradling your head, eyes drinking in the spectacle above, stars shimmering, planets glowing faintly, constellations unfurling like ancient stories woven across the cosmos. In moments like these, you feel both insignificantly small and infinitely important, a part of this grand, unfolding tapestry of time and space. Sleep follows shortly after, its approach gentle and familiar, like slipping into a comforting embrace. Dreams gather around you, narratives unfolding like petals unfurling in the warmth of morning sun, a dance of memories and hopes, fusing seamlessly to form a quilt of experiences that wrap around you as you wander in the realm of dreams. Here, amidst the boundless expanse of time and space, the night carries you, cradling your spirit until the dawn, once again, stretches its fingers across the horizon, stirring the world to life, preparing you for yet another day in which to engrave your own story along the paths you choose to walk.